Good evening, one and all. How are we? Happy Wednesday, everybody. Hope you're well. Good evening, Dave. Good evening, Plops of Corn. Good evening, Cameron. Yamail, good evening. Billicant Ruiz, hello. Hello, Mike's Painted Minis. Simon, good evening. Green as offline offends my delicate sensibilities. Well, it's because green means it's all okay. Red means that recording is live. So green, you can do whatever you like, because there's no hot mics and there's no hot cameras. Good evening, Laura. Good evening, the Mini Creative. Hello, Rock Golem. Conic Melter. Good evening. Good evening, Castle Rock. Hello, Stephen. Hope you're all well. Hope you're all doing very well. Hope you're all having a good Wednesday. Good evening, Mr. Gwatkin. Where's my mouse gone? Aha, I have it. So today... right, so, yes, what's the purposes of today? Well, today was supposed to be Tale of Many Warhipsters. However, I've had an absolute nightmare of a couple of days. Just, you know those things like where just things just go wrong one after another, and there's just, you seemingly can do nothing about it. That has been the last couple of days for me. Two-factor authentication. I will come for you one day. Honestly. I came because I missed your voice. That's very kind of you, Liam. I was going to text you last night, but then I realised it was 3 o'clock in the morning, and I said, hey, we should do Darktide, because it's now available on Xbox, and Joe can play it. I'm saying this to you now, which I realise is a little bit late. I was getting to you, Captain Mannerings. Good evening to you. My chat's all jumbled up. Honestly. So, here's a fun story for you. If you have two-factor authentication apps set up, and your internet dies at the point of where you're trying to do two-factor authentication, so your region switches from your local ISP point to somewhere else in the 5G network, the app will crash and will crash everything else for you so that it goes, hey, you're not the right person. Your region changed. Good evening, Peter Collins. I got so mad. Colonel, I didn't see you there. Hello. Kataro, hello. Ryan, hello. I have to scroll through this. Biltong Boob, good evening, sir. Peter, hello. Big Bad Peter Wargaming, hello. Oh, I feel terrible now. Good evening. Currently painting my Ultramarines from the Dark Imperium box set I managed to pick up for only £40. It's good going, Ryan. I always like watching a stream with paints in the background. Precious colours, lol. Yes. A few of them are on my desk. Do you not say hello to every single person? How rude. Sometimes I drop into your stream, Liam, and you don't even acknowledge that I was there for like 20-30 minutes. How rude of you. Good evening, Ricky. Oh, man. Like, honestly, like, just me and technology. I feel like I'm quite au fait with technology quite a lot of the time. And like sometimes it just conspires against me. Remind me later. That one. So I'm just going to test something out now because we've got a new camera phone type thing. So I just want to see what it looks like now on the overhead. And as you can see, Carlina von Karstine has arrived after last week's tribulations. I basically logged in the next day and it was there. Yeah, so it was supposed to be Tale of Many Warhipsters tonight, but unfortunately, just as a consequence, so what I was trying to do is I was trying to download all the stuff from Google Drive, and then Google Drive was like, hey, let's make sure you're you, and I'm like, yeah, that's fine. So I went did a thing, and then my internet died, and this thing happened, and the location settings all went mental, and this, that, and the other, and I was like, great, fabulous, wonderful, love it. So Google Drive locked me out. They're like, you're on cooldown, mister. It's like, thanks. So yeah, I wasn't best pleased about that. And then I was like, well, what can I do? Like, do I still go ahead with a live stream tonight? I know. I'll try and make a video for tonight instead. And then yeah, cloud storage locked me out as well, so I couldn't do anything with that. We had an entire platform go down, couldn't even raise an IT ticket because they used that said system. Oh, that's like, who was it? Was it Facebook? Facebook and Instagram, when it all went down, including the system that locked the doors so nobody could get in. They had to phone somebody who had a key. Oh. You can have an extension, Laura, yeah, if you want one. So next week will be the next Tales. So yeah, I'm glad this works. One thing works today. Oh, and as you probably saw there... oh no, you can't see it because it's hidden by my camera face. Today I have been working on Salamander's Terminators for all of you guys. Look at that. So we've got this cool thing going on. Got this cool thing going on. And we've got this going on as well. So yeah, so tonight we're just hanging out. Yeah, to the same Google Doc. Same Google Doc. Yeah, you can submit stuff for the next week. Because we're going to be doing it next week now. So just like last time with the heat wave, this time it was my own inadequacies as a YouTuber. And my technological failings. Question for Tales Paint. Something big with the Rohan Fortress count? Absolutely it would. So yeah. We've got a couple more Terminators for you. There they are. You were working on a shawl. I mean, that's fair enough. So yeah. This video should come out towards the end of the weekend because I've got to finish them. And I've got a pile of other stuff that I'm also working on at the same time, which I can't show you. And I can't talk about, so don't ask me. But yes. Can I have an updated Contrast Plus Heresy Space Rules tutorial? You can. In what way, my love? Because those ones were done with the new range. I'm not sure what I would change, because it's that slightly darker grey, right? I've got my Space Wars Marine here somewhere. There he is. Oh. So there's the Heresy version. I can't remember how I did it. I think I did Dawnstone all over, didn't I? Because the other option is, you know, normal Space Wolves. Yeah, I think it's probably the best way. Just because, like, Dawnstone, there isn't a good enough there isn't a good enough contrast paint that gets that slate grey. The greys are quite brown, so Basilicanum grey is quite brown. So like that there on that shoulder, that's Basilicanum grey, which isn't quite right for that Space Wolves colour. Yeah, so I did those Heresy ones with the second wave of contrast paints. The Salty Squire, welcome to Skirmish Hipster. Thank you very much for becoming a member. That's very, very kind of you. Welcome, welcome. I hope you're going to paint the Death Gorge warbands. Well, I hope I'm going to paint them too. They're pretty cool, the Death Gorge ones. There's quite a few things coming up in October that are pretty cool. I'm not going to lie to you. I suspect that there is a way to get that kind of Mechanicus Standard / Dawnstone Grey from contrast paint, and it's probably by doing some nightmare mix of Space Wolves Grey and Black Templar to get those two colours in together. But it's kind of too much mixing to make it make sense. So actually just going straight in with Dawnstone is probably the best way to do it. But yeah. So, guys, I believe Mr. Reza Prime and Mr. Gwatkin are both in the chat. And I asked them earlier if they fancied playing some Baldur's Gate 3 tonight instead of Tale of Many Warhipsters. And I'm going to ask you, the chat, if you would like to see some more Baldur's Gate 3, because that would be fun. Fun for me to do. But if you don't want to do that, I can build something instead. I can try and find something to paint. The choice is yours. Could you just add Dawnstone to contrast medium? Not really, because what would happen, you wouldn't get that two-tone contrast effect. You'd end up having to do 2 or 3 layers. You put the shawl in show off your stuff in case anyone's curious. Ooh. I am now going to go and have a look. Laura, that's sick. That is so cool. You should be very, very pleased with yourself. That is excellent work. We've got some people saying Baldur's Gate, some people saying do hang out and build, painting and all that kind of stuff. Mr. Warhipster, I recently picked up some of the Space Marine board games here in the States for the Termagants. Did you want me to send you one of my spare Captain Titus models? You have a spare one? I mean, if you don't want it, by all means, send away. Recently subscribed and eagerly awaiting the Cultist Torments. We do have that to come. I haven't painted them. I've been very busy. So I tell you what we'll do. We'll go for a best of both worlds here, guys. We'll hang out for a bit, and I will build Carlina von Karstine. Let's do that first. Good evening, Scarbrand. I will build Carlina von Karstine for all of you. And then we'll see where we are. And if Rich and Rich are still here and still awake and still up for it, we might then jump on Baldur's Gate for a little bit. So I want everyone to get something. I want everyone to be happy. But because we know that the overhead camera is working, we can... Salty Squire, you taught me how to paint, and now one of my minis is trending on the Tyrannid subreddit. Look for chitinous. This is all your fault. I'll take that as the compliment. I know it is. Still waiting on our Eldrad, no pressure. Sorry, I haven't done it yet. Get out of here, paints. We don't need you for the moment. We do need that base, though. Yeah, it is on a 40mm base. This should be nice and simple. A nice, casual, relaxing build. So fine. I'll look it up, but I won't do it on stream because I'm not looking that up on Google live on the internet because YouTube will probably throw a fit, and then they'll be like, we're going to demonetize you and get rid of all your subscribers, and then I'll just be really sad. One. There's a shocking lack of components here, and I love it. One, two. Three. Bosh. I don't think I've done any actual hobby on camera for quite a while now. Let's just do that so that you can actually hear me properly. Because talking past the microphone is never a great idea. There's a little bit here that I just need to... Oh, it's a little flower. Isn't that nice? Tiny little bit of flash in there. That's a really cool sword piece. Plain old Gavin. Welcome to Warhipster. Thank you very much for becoming a member. It's very, very kind of you. Oh. Hairdo or helm? I'm probably going to go for the helm. Are you planning on these new Gorges and Cities of Sigmar hunters coming in a few weeks? AJR? Yes, I am. I am planning on doing it. One of the great things about when a new faction like Cities of Sigmar comes out, and when it comes to me being who I am and the way that I create content on the internet, is that I intend to do absolutely every single thing in every range for all of times. So, having done everything in the Cities of Sigmar army set, it means that I have to get the Wildercore hunters in order to finish the set, because then we've got the rest of the Cities of Sigmar range. Whoever knows when that's coming, and we've got to get that done. So then Warhipster becomes the one-stop shop for all your Cities of Sigmar needs. Hey man, wanted to give back after I painted an entire army from your Catacross video. Keep doing you, my dude. Plain old Gavin, that's very kind of you. Thank you very much. Make sure to become a member. Well, you're already a member, but make sure to join our Discord, because then you can show off pictures of your Catacross, and I would love to see it. And the rest of your army. Nurgle Nerd, have been drooling over tons of models for ages. Suddenly I can pay for stuff, but I've lost motivation for what to get. I just want a cool project. Anything you recommend? I would recommend looking at like a boxed game like Warhammer Underworlds, or like one of the smaller Warcry ones, because that's a really cool project and there's very few miniatures in it. So like the new what's it called, Hunter and Hunted, with the Wildercore hunters and the Gougers. Can't remember what they're called. Gouger Moor Pack. And it comes with one bit of terrain in it. So it'd give you a really cool little set to just put together. And then you're ready to go. You'll be able to play it an entire game if you wish. Does a Hive Tyrant count for this month's Tale? Yeah, of course it does. Absolutely it does. I'm back. Submitted something new for this month along with my specialist. Awesome, Forge Father. Hey man, I'm having troubles with painting a Noise Marine model I got. I've had to restart and strip the paint off the model. Do you think Volupus Pink would make a good bright pink? What's your undercoat? Local Baron. Because if your undercoat is something like Volupus, not Volupus Pink, God. If your undercoat is something like Wraithbone, or like a warmer undercoat, using like Caribou Crimson, although it is quite thin to come out of an airbrush, would give you a really bright pink. But if you thin down some Doomfire Magenta quite a lot, that will look more pink than Volupus Pink will. Because Volupus Pink tends to look like... This is over Grace here, bear in mind. But Volupus Pink tends to look like that. Just there. So that's a Volupus Pink thing. So it can work. You'd have to thin it down a little bit more than normal. I don't know what Volupus Pink looks like through an airbrush, though. I'm not the best person to ask when it comes to airbrushing colours. There's no reason why it shouldn't work. But like Doomfire Magenta looks really pink. Especially when it's thinned down just that little bit more than normal. And Caribou Crimson, obviously. Caribou Crimson tends to look like that when it's thinned down. Yeah, this one hasn't been dry brushed. So yeah, when you thin down your Caribou Crimson, it looks like that. Good evening, Nutshell. Boop, 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 boop. I don't remember where this one was attached. Up here. There we go. There we go. Okay, how does this go together? This apparently goes in here. No, it doesn't. Hold the phone. I'm very confused. Apparently that is the orientation. What? Turn it round. Turn that round. Apparently that's how it... I just don't believe it. Is there really going to be that kind of large gap? Do you see what I mean? Hey, Adam. I'm guessing something goes here, which actually just covers it up. So component number 4. Alright, well, if I glue it wrong, I glue it wrong. Do. And then this goes in here, allegedly. No, it goes in here, allegedly. So that makes sense. That feels sturdy. It is a cool model. Where's my sprue? It's here. So component 4 goes on next. Which is this bad boy. Boo, 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 boo. As always, and I forget this every time, please do make sure, if you've got one, to leave a like on the stream. It's very, very helpful. If you're enjoying it, that is. If you're not enjoying it, then tell me about it. Call me names. Punish me. But do it in such a way that YouTube doesn't block the chat. There we go, I think that's everything. I've got a little bit of mold line removing having to go on here, but oh man, that's so cool. How big is that gap? Ugh. Okay, the bit of glue, that'll be fine. Okay, well, I just put all of that glue down for absolutely no reason, apparently. I suppose it does stick down like that and you'll never see inside. Yeah, okay, makes sense. So now you know the secret. Karlina von Karstine has only one leg. Have you done a video for evocators on Dracolines? Starting some at the moment and looking for inspiration for the cats. I haven't, Dave, unfortunately. Did building the new Death Leaper make you cry as much as I did? I felt like I needed an extra set of limbs to hold it all together while the glue set. Yes! The lictors is the same. There's a lot of teeny tiny little claws for absolutely no real apparent reason whatsoever. Okay, we're going to go for the helm on Carlina. Because the helm, to me, looks very Castlevania. The hair does as well, but I want the kind of armored vampire going to war look for my Carlina. Have you decided on the chapter for your new Marines army yet? Yeah, I think it's probably going to be Salamanders, Katara, Forge Father Vulcan. Because I've really enjoyed the bits of Salamanders that I've done. I'm very well, Dan Buster. Hope you're well. Can never have too many tentacles. Especially not in Baldur's Gate 3. Boop doop boop. Boop doop boop. Oh, it's so cool. Oh, very nearly. So on this, on component 5, just here, I nearly clipped that off. So this bit here, I was like, no, that's flash. No, 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 no. That needs to not be clipped. Aha. And we need the lid, or the other part of the... There we go. Of the chalice. So this bit here needs to come off. Get back here. You cannot escape your cleaning. It's funny, recently I've been obviously I've been painting a lot of Space Marines, and I've been thinking about it, and I chatted very briefly about this with Adam and with Rich. I think what I'm kind of veering towards doing with Space Marines is actually assembling sort of roughly 1,000 points of like a bunch of different chapters, maybe even less, like 500 points maybe, and just running Space Marine armies as like coalition armies. So rather than like full armies of one chapter, we have, for example, like we do things like paint up some... This is where we get a bunch of videos for the channel, right? But we do like an ATV, some Outriders, and some Storm Speeders as White Scars. And then we do a bunch of like Gravis and maybe some tanks or something as Imperial Fists, and so on and so forth, and just play the faction like that, because, you know, I've done the whole enormous Space Marine collection thing with the Blood Angels, and I think it'd be quite fun to attend some events or something with just like a coalition army, just all the different colours. I wanted this to be simple. Carlina, why are you making life difficult for me? Do I keep all the minis? I have kept them all so far. I've given a couple away. Yeah, I think I've got quite a cool I've got quite a cool recipe for doing like salamander flames now, which I'm very pleased with. This is being annoying. I might just clip this off, you know, because it was simply will not just go in. There you go. Can't stop me, plastic. So it's supposed to slide in there, but it's just not doing it. Whereas if I remove the pin, I should be able to just do that. And look, that's a lot of bother that we could have avoided. Good evening, Chewie. There was a video I did recently where it was even worse than that. So I can talk you through a little bit of my reasoning behind my Space Marine thoughts. So I've obviously done as I'm sure you've probably seen the pictures, I've done every single one of the Space Marine captains and characters that were released during the kind of the first waves of everything getting there. So like when the what they called the supplements came out, I did all of them. So I've got Torgaradon, I've got Adrax Agatone, I've got Kavan Shrike, and now I did most of them off camera. I didn't actually film them. There we go, Carlina von Karstine, all built. And I am going to clear this ramrod because it is annoying me. So like I've always liked the idea of actually going back and redoing those. So redoing like Corsair Khan and redoing Adrax Agatone and all that. And like giving away my old ones. But I would only do it if I had a reason to do it, if you see what I mean. So like painting Adrax Agatone again only makes sense if I'm going to do it as part of a Salamander's army. But here's the thing, I don't want to build a min-maxed 2,000 point Salamander's army, and I don't want to do that for White Scars either. What I want to do is paint a really cool representation of the White Scars so that I can put them into a Space Marine collection, so that when I go to an event, if I want to run with 6 Outriders, an ATV, 2 Storm Speeders, an Impulsor with a Captain and 6 Assault Intercessors in it, that's a White Scars force right there. And that's like 700 points or something. So that's a really cool, neat little force. But then there's another 1,300 points to go. And I wouldn't want to do it again. And for me, because I paint so many different things all the time, that actually makes sense to me. And for Space Marines, it kind of makes sense to have them as more of a... have more as a group of collaborators rather than the entire chapter at once. So like, I'm sorted for Blood Angels. I don't need any more Blood Angels. But like, when stuff comes out, like as has done, so like when the Stern Guard kit came out, I was like, oh, sure, I could paint these as Blood Angels, but we've already done it, and I wouldn't be able to film it, and that wouldn't be the point. That wouldn't be cool, because I've already done the Stern Guard because of Leviathan. So what do I do with them? I was like, well, I'll put them into Salamanders, because one of the things I would really like to do is to do some Fire Drakes, the Forge World Horus Heresy Salamander Terminators. And I think it would be cool to do them. I do like Deathwatch, Cameron, but it's all black armor and it's just kind of boring. You know? I've done it before. I have a Deathwatch. I had a Deathwatch army, which I sold most of ages ago. I've got things like Kill Team Cassius, which is nice. I like the idea of doing sort of 3 kill teams and have that as like a core of something. Do Legion of the Damned. I suppose we could do Legion of the Damned at some point. What do you guys think of Carlina? So I had a birthday present turn up today, and I know this will excite some of you Vampires fans out there. So for people who ask for more Soulblight Gravelords, can I interest you in Lalkavai, Mother of Nightmares? I want to have a look at this. So I might actually just do this as a normal Vengorian Lord, or do it as Lalkavai and just use it as a Vengorian Lord. But I haven't ever looked at these sprues. Is she part of the finishing off project? She is, but she was a birthday present from my friend. Just two sprues. That's impressive for a model that looks like this. Paint it as Lalkavai, use it as a Vengorian Lord makes sense. Any demons on the horizon? Apart from the ones in my closet? My inner demons? I'm very impressed by this. Because I don't anticipate this being an Avengorii. Gloomspite Gits would be cool. Is there hope for the future? Always, RG5. What you have to hope for is that I find the time to do them. Because I have a pile of them in my pile of shame. Or pile of potential, as Mini Creative asked me about. I have a bunch of them to do. So I have like things like Snarlfang Riders and things like that. This is an interesting sprue. It looks big and complicated, but there's actually really 3 components there taking up much of the space. That sword is sick. As is that one. Big fan of those. However, we do have a connection point right there on the cutting edge of the blade, which you know I don't like. Do you have a loon boss in there? I think I do, you know. I basically have the contents of Braggott's Bottle Snatchers. I have the Troggoths, obviously, to do. And I have... I have no idea how these sprues go together, and those are some really delicate little wings. So I have the Troggoths. I have... no, it's safer to do it the other way around. Troggoths, Braggott's Bottle Snatchers, and the Snarlfang Riders. Not quite 80 gits. They weren't broken sprues. Just folded. There we go. We've built Carlina von Karstine. I like the idea of doing the same thing, Rich. Doing the Devastation of Baal and having a bunch of different Blood Angels. I also like the idea of like just sitting down and just being like, we're going to do 100 chapters. And just do like... do all of the successes from some of the lesser known one, you know, the lesser known successes. So rather than doing like the Ultramarine successes, because we'll be there for a million years doing them, but doing like Space Wolves, Salamanders, Raven Guard, Iron Hads, doing all of their successes, just being like, yeah, here we go, here's 100 Space Marines, here's 100 Space Marine videos. But I know everyone would get bored. Could do it between us. We can. I've got 3 companies of Blood Angels, so we're already done on that front. Exactly. Exactly, Cameron. Every single successor chapter that's been known and named. That's where we end up painting ones that no one's ever heard of. So you put the video out and everyone's just like, this is cool, but why aren't you painting insert new thing here? Oh. But yeah, I've been enjoying painting salamanders. I really enjoy painting the Ultramarines. Company heroes. Imperial Fists, I'm thinking of actually just like, because I've never painted them before and I don't own any of them, I'm thinking of getting some Centurions and painting them up as Imperial Fists. Just like a proper siege force. It's like I would love to just do endless Space Marine vehicle videos. It's just, you know, there's other things to do. Other more important things to get on with. Oh. That's exactly it, Adam. It's more likely, actually, what the comments will be is a litany of people saying, do this thing instead, and not actually watching the video. Iron Hands vehicles, Gravis Imperial Fists. Yeah. Yeah. So now you're on my wavelength. Raven Guard, Phobos, Imperial Fists, Gravis, Iron Hands, Dreadnoughts and Tanks. And then do salamanders, yeah. The only issue is that you kind of this is where it gets tricky as a painting content creator, is that if you ever want to be able to use your collection, you have to do it in such a way that makes sense, right? So say there's like 10 different chapters that you want to do, and you want to have them all in the same army, and you want to have different videos for everything, rather than Ultramarines Intercessors, Imperial Fists Intercessors, and so on and so forth. You run into that risk of just having something that's fundamentally terrible. So you spend all this time filming and lovingly creating this army that you then take to a game, and it just gets curb stomped. And you just go, cool. That was a great use of my hours. I really enjoyed myself. Okay, thanks, bye. A Rainbow Warrior Baneblade. I remember a time when Legion Baneblades were a thing. That was fun. Yeah, you could do that, Cherry, but like, I don't want to play a Deathwatch army. I want it to feel like a crusading. I want the project. If I'm ever going to play it, if I'm going to do it, I want it to feel like a crusading army where there's Terminators from the Salamanders, and there's bikes from the White Scars, and there's Phobos Marines from the Raven Guard, and there's close combat specialists from the Blood Angels or the Space Wolves, and there's, you know, this, that, and the other. I want it to look like that. Atlantean Spears Thunderhawk. I desperately want a Thunderhawk. I'd love a Thunderhawk. Thunderhawk gunship would make me very, very, very happy. I just don't have any money. That'll work, your mail. I should just buy 3 of the new combat patrol boxes and just call it a day there, shouldn't I, really? Three Terminator captains that look the same, 3 Terminator librarians that look the same, 15 Infernus Marines and 15 Terminators. 120 Skaven clan rats speed painted. I think that would kill me, honestly. It takes me long enough to paint 5 models. Beep, 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 beep. So, like, if I just... They're not finished yet, but... That's the kind of thing, like, just seeing them all together looks really cool. So, like, for example, there's my Adrax Agatone, and I did him when he came out, and I would like to film him. So what I might do is I might give this one away. I might give this one away and buy another one and actually film it this time. Same for my Corsair Khan. Because, you know. They're cool models. Same for, like, Iron Father Phyros. And Torgaradon. And Shrike. See what I mean? Because they make a fun little hero hammer group when you put them all together. Obviously, Mephiston is downstairs. You know, if we include, say, Uriel Ventress, and we include an Emperor's Champion, and we include Lazarus, Tigurius, Calgar, you know. I've also learnt quite a lot since I did most of these, so like it'd be fun to do them again. Just do them a little bit better. So like, I have a video for Uriel Ventress, but when you compare him to my Galgar, this was my attempt at learning how to do what do you call it, Zenithal priming, and I don't like it. I don't think it looks right. See what I mean? Like, that is much closer. That's much better than that. So it's like, I'd love to redo them. So, well, not him. Ventress, he's already had a video, but like, it'd be cool to redo them again. See what I mean? And it'd be cool to put them into a collection that's like, just like a super thing of Blood Angels and all the Space Marines ever. I haven't got any more in that. The rest of them are Heresy Marines. And a Space Wolves tank. Yeah, you could do that. Blade Guard veterans, all different. Pop them away now for safety. You're in the wrong cupboard. I'll put you there for now. Yeah, just something a little bit different, right? Which of these is finished? That one's finished. And that one is finished. These three are the ones that are being painted. for the purposes of the internet. This is a video that's coming out either tomorrow or Friday. Or these. Depends what you want. Jump Pack Intercessors or Terminator Chaplain. Do you tend to varnish your models? I do not, SkyTube. And I probably should, but I don't. Have you any advice on brushes for comfort, as I have really bad arthritis in my hands and wrists and struggle with the standard brushes? Thanks. I wonder if maybe the Army Painter's triangular grip might help you a little bit more. So the Army Painter brushes look like that. So they got a much kind of thicker thicker handle rather than, say, an Artis Opus brush, which is just objectively a lot smaller because it's rounded. So the Army Painter's triangular ones might help you if arthritis is preventing you from getting a much tighter grip. And I don't mind it so much. I quite like the triangular handle. It does feel a little bit easier on the hand sometimes. It might be worth just looking up like kind of thick handled brushes. Yeah, Mike's painting minis. That's a good shout. That's an excellent shout. Peter, thank you very much for becoming a member, sir. You are our third new member of the day. Good afternoon, Mr. Tickles. What are we doing? It has, Cameron. It has. Expired gifts. But you know. It is what it is. Yeah, I know what you mean, Ryan. I actually, not that it's the same thing at all, but I slept really funnily on my painting wrist the other day. So much so that when I woke up because my arm was hurting, because I think I fell asleep on it like this. And I pressed like this, and it just like it popped both here and here, and like this hand in particular, I've broken the scaphoid in it a couple of times, so it gets really stiff sometimes, especially if I sleep on it funny. So then when I have to come and do tiny little line highlights, it becomes quite difficult. You just have to. I need to get like a wrist support or something for it. I think maybe. Because I looked for a while at something that just kind of holds the thumb like this, but you end up putting. I ended up putting up a lot of strain on this arm, which it doesn't obviously help with long-term painting projects because you're constantly having to go against. Because I paint quite a lot from the wrist rather than from the elbow, which I probably should do more of, to be honest. Especially when doing things like line highlighting. But, it is what it is. I probably need to just do some exercises. I used to do them. For playing guitar. One of the things I was taught that was really good for just increasing strength in fingers and wrists is just to have a tennis ball and just to grip it. I was actually the other day I was thinking to myself, I was like, God, when I was in my sort of late teens to mid 20s, I used to break bones all the time, break finger, break a wrist, break an ankle, this, that and the other. And I was like, it never really prevented me from doing my job or anything like that, but if I did it now, that would actually just cause the channel to collapse because I wouldn't be able to work. You do the tennis ball thing, yeah. So what I used to do is I used to squeeze the tennis ball with both hands, and then I also used to do it with my knees as well. Pop it in the back of the leg and use that to just kind of strengthen the knee just a little bit. I just don't do that at all now, and I really should. Old cement mixer wrist. Right. What was I gonna do? Oh yeah. I haven't really set it up. That's the problem, but. Will you be radical and take part in Movember this year? Sometimes I feel like I ought to. I've never taken part in it. I've often donated, but I've never done it myself, mostly because it's so much a part of my identity. Maybe I could. Hand grip weights, yeah, those ones, yeah. Thanks for the Trog tutorial. It's really amazing. Do you maybe have a suggestion which contrast to use for the Rockgut skin? Maybe Achillean green plus Drakenhof nightshade. That could work. I don't know if Achillean green's a little bit too dark for that. Let me look it up. Rockgut Troggoth. So I actually think you're maybe better off with Space Wolves Grey, Drakenhof Nightshade, maybe a bit of Coelia Green Shade, or Tyran Blue maybe. Because it's, you know, it's almost a, if I scroll down, Grey Blue. Yeah, they use the Fang, Rust Grey, Fenrisian Grey. So they use Space Wolves Grey. Yeah, I think Space Wolves Grey is closer to it. But then you can use Tyran Blue to add a little bit of a warm shade, or you can use Drakenhof Nightshade to add a colder shade. It depends on the kind of vibe you wanted from the Rockgut Troggoths, is probably how I would do it. I want to find the time to paint them, but it's just not going to happen in the next week or two. Maybe not for the whole month of October. Loving the fluffy mane of hair at the moment, a bit jelly. It's at the, my hair is at this point, right, where it is not long enough to hang down, so all it does is just kind of that. So I will wake up in the morning feeling like P. Diddy, and it will be like this. So then when it comes to taking photos or live streaming or something, I'm like, oh, we should probably do something with this. So often the fix is just to draw it back, grab one of these, and just do that. I'm hoping to FQ. I've got quite a lot I've got to do. What would Alice say if you did Movember? So for Movember, the rule's that you can't grow a beard, because I did once have just a mustache and she didn't like it. Keep it untamed. Just let it all... Just let it all hang out. Looks absolutely stupid. And like, I think it's on this side. There's a number of greys coming through, which I quite like. I just wish it was like quicker. If I pop my headphones on. The problem is, right, guys, is my mustache, right? Okay. At a certain point, and it's probably close to it now, if I do like a really straight smile, so I create dimples, my face looks like the Batman logo. Okay, so I'm going to turn the lights down so you can see what this looks like. Okay, you ready? See what I mean? And you can see it there, right? A watchful protector. A contrasting dark knight. Would you consider doing a Contrast Plus tutorial for the Changeling? Ross, it is on the list of things to do. As I always say, though, it is a case of time. Keep it untamed. Just let it all roam free. Okay, I will do that for you. I actually think I'm starting to lose my hair is the problem up here. And I'm very paranoid about it. Because I have always been this. And I don't want to go bald. But I know that I do look alright with a shaved head. So if it does transpire that I am losing my hair, then I will just shave it all off. But right now, we're just about okay. There will be a haircut that will happen eventually. It's not quite as long as it was. But obviously I've not touched it since the last time I shaved. Predictions for Old World on Warhammer Day. James Norton, I hope they announce the whole bloody thing. I hope they go, hey look, here is a core box with which we're going to be launching and it's going to be out tomorrow and everyone gets one. Hooray! We've made one for everyone. I predict no news, lol. No, they have said it's on their list of things. I think it's Warhammer 40k, Age of Sigmar, the Old World, and Kill Team are the 4 things they're going to be talking about on Warhammer Day. And we'll stream it live, as we often do, if I'm here. I'm pretty sure I'm here. I think I'm here. I'm fairly certain I'm here. David Edwards, gifting 5 memberships. Thank you so very much, David. That's very, very kind of you. Hey, and Chewie got one. I'm sure my head hair is migrating to my nose and ears. Screw getting older. When is Warhammer Day? I think it's the 14th. Let me look it up. It's a Saturday, I know that much. Yeah, Saturday, 14th of October at 2 p.m. BST, 6 a.m. PDT, 9 a.m. EDT, 9 p.m. CEST, and 12 a.m. AEDT. For all of your preview fun. And they are previewing 40k, Age of Sigmar, Warhammer the Old World, and Warhammer 40,000 Kill Team. Now I'm expecting it's for the wild hair. Well, there you go. Your 5 gifted memberships will protect and enshrine my wild hair for all of time. Do you know what? I'll just won't have the headphones on for a bit, shall I? You can see how truly wild it can be. The fun thing about this hair, though, my hair, is that often, if I just leave it straight up, it will just stay straight up. There you go, like that. See what I mean about a slight balding? Just there. Because when I was younger, I used to have a really pronounced widow's peak. So I'm just hoping it's that. But, you know, it is what it is. But yeah, Saturday, 14th of October is Warhammer Day. So the reason I'm thinking we're going to see lots of Old World is because they're saying that it's... Camera's just lost focus. Hey. What's wrong with you? It's because of my hair. It's 40 years of Warhammer. And the Old World is a big part of that. So I reckon we're going to see quite a big bit of news, you know. One would hope we're going to get a number of different model kits, rather than just like one or two, as we've had a bunch of. Because it's starting to get annoying. You know. You know, it was fun when it was like, here's one, here's two, here's a shield, here's a head, here's a sword. Yeah, the camera just doesn't like it. Is that nicer for you? How's that? First of all, where do we send a comb to? I have a comb. People are telling me to leave it all hanging out, Barry. Are you sick of painting Tyranids? You seem to have skipped some new nids. Maybe just busy, maybe hate Xenos. I have been incredibly busy, Barry, doing a bunch of stuff, which is why I didn't do some of those other kits. They will get done, don't worry. I'm just trying to find a moment spare within which to do them. So I've got 28 videos on the go at the moment. Did your hair just break the camera? It literally did. My hair is just that powerful. It breaks technology. Perhaps that's why everything screwed up earlier. So that I couldn't do Tales tonight. Just took one look at me and was like, bruh, get a haircut. My beard does that to my phone sometimes. It goes, nope. Only 28. Yeah, only the 28 videos. I know, Chris. This is it. This is the life. And I keep it all up here. It's just me. So, if you'd like to consider becoming a member, so that we can eventually fund That was a daddy long legs just flew past. That's fun. Chris, you're very welcome. Adam has done the exact same thing. He painted his World Eaters army using that video. I nearly did mine the same way, but then I was like, nah, classic red. It's got to be done. It's just the way I roll. Yes, it's just appeared because the window's not open. So that's flown in from downstairs. Go out more till you can cosplay as Zodgrod Wartsnagger. I'm not far off that, you know. But yeah. Yeah. There is a universe where I need to skip some things, and there's some things that I can't do. But as good as I am, I can't paint a video. I can't paint an entire video in one day, edit it the next day, and do that on repeat for now until the end of Christmas. Just can't do it. I just can't do it. As much as I'd love to, I just can't do it. I have to have some time to sleep. So I've got these Terminators that I will be finishing tonight. And then I'm starting another one immediately after that. I've got to edit the chaplain or the jump packs tomorrow. Finish the other video that I start tonight, and then... Did something just fly past again? I'm so confused. I haven't seen the last Ahsoka yet. No, we took a couple of weeks off watching new programs so that we could build up some episodes. So I haven't seen last week's or this week's Ahsoka. I haven't seen last week's or this week's Only Murders in the Building, and we're 2 or 3 episodes behind on Welcome to Wrexham. We're also... Do you plan to get Demon Primarch Fulgrim? I do plan to get Demon Primarch Fulgrim. Speaking of Primarchs, there's one here. Mortarion is in this little tray. You want my Forge World Inquisition Rhino sides and front? Can't imagine I'll ever make. I didn't know they did those. They're just big eyes. I don't think I've ever seen those before. I'm going to look them up. Oh yeah. Those are cool. Were they part of the sort of Grey Knights thing? Back when, yeah, Grey Knights. Back when Grey Knights used to have a Forge World range. Psycan and Dreadnought. Man, that was so cool. There it is. Don't make that anymore. Is it a halberd it has as well? Yeah. Same one that Blood Angels Dreadnought used to have. Grey Knight's Doomglaive Pattern Dreadnought. That's the one. That was a fun Dreadnought. It was a fun time. A fun time had by all. Oh, dearie me. Just got protein powder in the carpet by accident. Oh no. Get the vacuum, it'll be alright. Is there a reason you tend to highlight silver with Ironbreaker now rather than Iron Hand Steel like you used to? Yeah, it's not because I don't like Iron Hand Steel anymore. It's just that Ironbreaker is just that bit brighter than Iron Hand Steel, and it's kind of got more of a shine to it. So when you look at them, I don't know if my camera's going to be able to deal with that. Probably not. Let's go for the overhead. So when you look at them, you see how there's just that tiny little bit more brightness in. So this one's Iron Hand Steel, and that one's Ironbreaker. There you go. So you see how it's just got that little bit more oomph to it, which means it translates as so much more of a highlight than Iron Hand Steel does. It's subtle, but it is just enough to make it really pop. So for a slightly duller highlight, for lack of a better word, Iron Hand Steel is still great, but Ironbreaker is just that little bit brighter. I like it a lot. Good night, Salty Squire. Oh my. I appear to be receiving some text messages. I'm glad the overhead camera works. That bodes well for Titan things. Exochosen. Hey Warhipster, love your videos. Hope you don't mind me asking, but I'm trying to follow your Leviathan Nid videos, but my Nid's skin seems to come out more pink than your greyish white. Any advice? Is it High Fleet Leviathan rather than the Leviathan box? Because it should be coming out pinky. The dry brush of Wraithbone tends to really help. What are you priming it? Are you priming it with Wraithbone? Do you ever plan on painting a Warsong Revenant for the channel? I feel like it's one of the more challenging models out there and there are no tutorials on it. That surprises me, Andytronic. Yes, I do plan on doing a Warsong Revenant. As to when, I don't know. It'll be when I do the Spite Rider Lancers and when I do the Alariel. And when I do them, I don't know. Like I always say, like, subscribe, and become a member. Help me out. I need an assistant. Wraithbone, then Caribou Crimson, then Dry Brush with Wraithbone. And you're saying it's coming out pinky? Because mine comes out pinky. Are you saying it's coming out more pinky than... So, hang on. I knew I was going to regret closing that. Get out of here. So if I... Yeah, Andytronic, you and me both. Overhead. Bosh. Right, so. Hopefully I've actually got this in Gene Stealer format. So, this is Gene Stealer with nothing on it. This is Gene Stealer after Caribou Crimson. And then this is after Wraithbone Primer. Dry brush. Because it might be my lighting making you think it's grey, because it shouldn't be grey. It should be coming out pink. If you see what I mean. I actually get the same. Perfect, Exochosen. Yeah, you need it to be slightly pinky. Because then, eventually, it looks like that. Or like, say, that. No. No, you absolutely don't. There's no such thing as a screw up anyway. Only a happy accident. Yeah, it's almost impossible to balance it sometimes. So like, there's my red. But then because you're using, so like it's balancing the yellow and red together under these lights, because these lights are so bright. The whole point is to be able to see it really brightly, and also light the area in such a way that I can actually operate in this area without blowing out the model. That's the thing. Like, so my hands, for example, don't look blown out here. So like this model does not look blown out. Whereas if I was to bring the light like right here, it would just be really, really, really blown out. Also calibration of the monitor. Camera as well. Camera can change the color profiles. So sometimes you can look at a picture of mine and be like, hey, it looks really good on a Mac. And then other times you can look at it on like an older monitor from a Windows computer and it's doing something weird to the color balancing and it looks strange. So like I don't have HDR turned on anything because it's not actually helpful for miniature painting videos. Because it starts artificially adding color where there isn't. So like it makes red like look really pink and then adds like super dark shadows which there aren't, and so on and so forth. See the Newcastle result? No. What happened to Newcastle? Poor Newcastle. Newcastle have done work. They look sick. Would you ever do a freehand tutorial for Blood Angel squad markers, seeing as the assault and heavy weapon squad transfers are rare now? The lightning looks easy, but the other thing not so much. Blood Angels squad markings. What do they have? Isn't it an X? Oh, and there's a little wing shape as well. Because there's skull, skull, teardrop, teardrop, XX, lightning, two-prong, little wing, skull, skull, teardrop, teardrop, XX, lightning, two-prong, two-wing. Yeah, I mean, it's something we can look at doing. It would be a very short video, though. I would also hold your horses because I think Blood Angels, Dark Angels, and Space Wolves are due a new transfer sheet, which I'm hoping they will get as part of this 10th edition malarkey. My glasses are filthy and I can barely see. Hey, would you look at that? 54 likes on the stream. Great work, guys. Any less than 50 to me these days feels like a failure. I know, don't get ahead of myself, right? But going past 50, fantastic. Thank you very much. I hope we get new Astorath, Lamati, Sanguinor and Tycho models. Why would we get a new Tycho model? He's been dead for 6 editions. 6 editions? I think he's been dead since 3rd. When was the 3rd Armageddon? When was the 3rd Armageddon War? Whenever that was, that's how long he's been dead. Do you wear glasses, you male? Because sometimes I find it's because my glasses have gotten filthy. That's why I just clean them then. I'm like, oh yeah, I can see now. As for resting the eyes, yeah. Another one thing that's quite good is to just take some cold water and just to gently under the eye. That's what I do sometimes. On both sides, like that. If my eyes... Why is he still in the codex then? I don't know, Cameron. I don't know why Tycho still keeps getting put in the codex when he's long dead. But they remove Commissar Yarrick from the Astra Militarum book. But still, Tycho gets rules in 10th edition. I don't know why Tycho continues to plague that book. But yeah, he's still alive, he's still kicking. On tabletops the world over. I think it's the 8th edition or the 9th edition book where it's like, sometimes it's fun to see like what would happen if Tycho had lived. But we recommend doing more historically accurate things with him where you run him with firstborn Marines and you're like, yeah, nah. Questions for sisters. Do you think they are due to refresh? I happen to have access to the 2021/2022 Battle Forces at MSRP, but don't want to buy something that is up to refresh. No, Battle Sisters aren't going to get a model range refresh. Not for a long old time. There might be a new character or something that comes along, but the models aren't going to get a refresh. They're too new. They're this side of the 20s. Mark Reed, thank you very much for becoming a member. You're our 9th new member of the day. Can we get to 100 likes, people? I think we can. Maybe. Hi there, been smashing your videos, back painting after 20 years. Oh, welcome back, Mark. And thank you very much for smashing my videos. That's very kind of you. I'm glad you're enjoying the content. And welcome back. I don't know about 100 likes, Adam, but if we can get 5 more, we get the magic number. The big question on everyone's lips is, can we return to 400 members? Can we do it? There you go. Likes, 69. Nice. That's what we like to see. Now no one else liked the stream. Captain Mannerings, thank you very much for the gifted membership. That puts us on 360. Oh yeah. That's what we like to see. A nice round number. My kids were into Warhammer in the days of Epic Tomb Kings. Dad done the painting. I would love to get to 420 likes. But in order to do that, everyone has to go and tell 10 of their friends to come and join the stream. And if they tell their 10 friends to come and join the stream, could they also subscribe to the channel? Because I would like this number 48249 to read as 50000. $50,000 would be nice. I'm sure you have at least 10 friends. I like to think of myself as having 48,249 friends. However, as I've noticed that number doing today, 6 people are becoming my friend and then not wanting to be my friend. I think YouTube's on one of its... Yeah, I can do that, Rez. I'll go and do that now. Oh, wait. It's the one thing you can't do to yourself. You can't subscribe to your own channel, which makes sense. But you can like, you can comment, you can gift your own memberships. You can even super chat yourself if you want. I can send myself a super chat. Yeah, so YouTube changed its rules on YouTube changed its rules on saying that they'll just remove YouTube accounts after, I think, an inactivity period of 20 years, 2 years now, whereas they used to just leave them. So every so often, like, you'll have it so that it just goes brr. So your number will go up, down, up, down, up, down, as YouTube's just going 2 years old, 2 years old, 2 years old, 2 years old, 2 years old. Very good, Adam. 360 members. Some might call that a round number. Very good. Very good. But thank you very much for the gifted 5. So now we've got one for every day of the year. We have a best friend for every day of the year. 48,249 friends. 365 best friends. Yeah, I didn't mean 22 years. 2 years. 2 years, not 22 years. I misspoke. Please. I only know this because I have an email account that was associated with an old business that I used to work for, and I haven't used it in 2 years. So I got this email through on that account saying your YouTube account has been closed. Bye. And it was like I didn't realize I had a YouTube account on that channel, on that email address, but I did because I hadn't used it in 2 years. I'm trying to tidy up an Imperial Fists script, but really want to paint these aggressors. Oh, I see what you mean. Oh. $55 members for the cool, more members for the cool number. Well, yeah. Shall I gift myself 55 more members so we can see that 420? In fact, should I just set the member goal as 420? Should we just do that? Because we're edgy. Let's do it. And then after that, we'll set the member goal as 690. The Land Raider Redeemer. I should check my... What time is it on? Right. It's 25 to 10, guys. I'm streaming for 2 hours. You know what that means. It means usually it's time to end. So we're probably going to call it there. Thank you for keeping me company for a couple of hours. I feel a lot more happy about my terrible luck this last couple of days. We've had a good time. It's always nice to just take a little seat back. I should say thank you very much, the Salty Squire, Plain Old Gavin, Peter, Mark Reed, for becoming members. And thank you very much, David Edwards, Captain Mannerings, and ADR Wargaming for gifting those memberships. It's very, very kind of you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah, for normal people to go to bed. Shall we do a poll for which video you do tomorrow? Oh, we can do that if you want. There you go. Quickly answer the poll. Chaplain or jumpers? I'm going to sit down and I'm going to do the pack tomorrow well ahead of time. And we will be doing Tales next week, of course. Looks like the Chaplain's by far and away the winner. He's very happy. Please choose me. I shall sing you songs of the Imperium. He's a salamander, no less. There we go. Chaplain 62%, jumpers 38%. Behold my stuff. There we go. We'll end the poll there. Chaplain's the easy winner. With 62% of the vote. Anyway, we are now going to call it there. Thank you very much for hanging out with me this evening. Love you very much. We'll be back next Wednesday, of course, and then we'll probably be back. In fact, I need to check the calendar, cause yeah, back next Wednesday. Maybe we'll be back on Saturday. I actually can't remember if I can stream. I think I'm busy that day. We'll find out. But yeah, thanks so much for hanging out with me, guys. I will see you all very, very soon in the next one. In the next stream. Has it just frozen and died? Someone say something in the chat to tell me it's not just disappeared. Oh no, there we go. See you all later. Bye bye. Bye for now. Bye bye bye. Bye bye bye. Bye 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 bye. Bye bye. Bye 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 bye. Bye. Bye bye. Bye bye bye. Bye bye bye. Bye. Bye bye bye. Bye 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 bye.